Three. Hello, welcome back to Kenny the Sports Guys podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Severo, and it is the return of two-time Emmy Award-winning Deborah Whitcas. In case you missed it, I have done a bench talk episode with Deb Whitcas last month. If you missed it, I'll put the link in the description below. For the second time in 2 months, please welcome back to the show, Deb Whitcas. Thank you for being on the show today.
Of course, I'm so excited to be here. I'm excited to talk some NFL football.
That's going to be all about NFL football today. So let's start with the NFL. As of this recording, we are entering week 13 of the NFL season, week 14. There has been a lot of surprises so far this season. Mm-hmm. Which team do you think has been the most surprising this season?
I think it's a toss-up between the Vikings and the Eagles right now. Obviously, both are killing it. Eagles are now 11-1. I think the Vikings are 10-2?
Yeah, right? 10-2. They recently won the North. They won the North last night.
Right. So I'm shocked at both. I knew the Eagles would be good this season. When we acquired the AJ Brown at the draft. And I say we just because I'm an Eagles fan. So I always have to watch that. I'm like, oh, the Eagles. So I knew the Eagles would be really good this season, and that was kind of the talk of the draft when that happened, because everyone, as far as media was concerned, everyone kind of in that room said, oh, Eagles NFC East champions, like right that moment, the second that everyone found out that AJ Brown wasn't going to be an Eagle. Was traded from the Titans to the Eagles. So yeah, I knew that the Eagles would be good. I didn't know they were going to be this good. So that's one thing I was a little shocked about. I think I put them at 12-5 for the season, and I think they're going to blow that out of the water, because we have the Giants coming up, we have the Giants coming up.
Yeah, you guys have the Giants coming up. Yeah,
I get some of the teams mixed up. We have the Giants coming up, or the Eagles have the Giants coming up, and it might be a little bit of a. The Eagles have an easier schedule coming up, I think. So I think they're going to blow that 12-5 thing out of the water. Like we'll see. And the Vikings. I mean, who knew? Kirk Cousins.
So here's the thing with me. I had Minnesota first, but I also have my other team. I'm sure that you already know who I'm talking about.
The Jets, right?
Yeah, the Jets, exactly. So the Jets has been the most surprising team, because nobody really expected them to be 7-5, seventh in the playoff seed right now. They actually lost to Minnesota, which I am pretty much upset about. But Mike White is pretty much the truth for me. I think he's going to deliver maybe a Super Bowl ring with the Jets in the coming years.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson.
Well, that was my question. How do you feel about Zach Wilson? How do you feel about Zach Wilson losing the QB1 spot?
In a way, I feel like very relieved, because the last few games he had played was pretty bad, pretty mediocre. Basically, the defense carried him. Mm-hmm. But also, a part of me says that's a waste of a draft pick, because we could have just gotten somebody else. Mm-hmm. What killed Zach Wilson was Wilson had that press conference the game after the Patriots.
Right.
And it seemed like he didn't really care about.
Well, he didn't take accountability for his actions on the field, and he didn't do well, and he didn't take accountability for it, and kind of said something in the nature of with, do you blame yourself? And he was like, no. And like, you have to, as a quarterback, you have to take accountability. Like, his defense did carry
exactly
him. And
that's why I didn't like about
the locker room.
Yeah, he lost the locker room, and here we are with Mike White, who actually had a big game against the Vikings. And yeah, I mean, I would have to say the Jets #1, and then the Vikings, because nobody expected Minnesota to, be this good this quickly. Mm-hmm. I mean, Justin Jefferson, to me, he's my MVP right now, because he's playing lights out. Like, he's playing absurdly right now. So I would say the Jets, the Vikings, and I wouldn't say the Eagles. I wouldn't say them because I expected them to, compete with the Cowboys for the NFC East. But I would have to say the third team is the Giants, but it kind of feels like the Giants are actually falling out a little bit because they have back-to-back losses.
Right.
So they lost to the Lions, but not back-to-back losses. I mean,
They just tied. They just tied with the Commanders, but I feel like everyone thinks everyone lost at that game.
So, which essentially means like that's a loss, basically.
Yeah.
If you have a tie in the NFL, it basically means a loss. But
yeah, especially with this playoff push, if there's a tie, basically both teams lost at this point.
Yeah. So I have the Jets, the Eagles, and the Vikings as my most surprising team this season.
And
what do you say about?
I was gonna say, I think in San Francisco, I'm super bummed that Garoppolo just broke his ankle. I was excited to see where San Fran went. I just last week was saying myself, I saw them in Super Bowl contention, and now I don't know. Jimmy's backup, and I forget his name right now, but definitely carried the team, definitely carried the offense for the rest of the game for San Fran. But we'll see where they go from here. And just Baker Mayfield apparently was just from rumor just was let go by the Panthers, so maybe that's a place for him to go, is San Fran. Who knows? But
you think so? You think so?
To go for Baker Mayfield to go to San Fran?
Yeah.
I mean,
it is the right fit, but he played well there.
Who knows? I mean, he didn't play well with the Panthers, so I mean, they need something right now. I mean, they just got McCaffrey, Kittle's there. I was really upset that Garoppolo is just is out for the season. So we'll see. I was looking forward to those games.
So who you would say is the most disappointing team in the NFL right now? Think long and hard.
The Broncos. I mean, what's going on? What's going on with Russell Wilson? The AFC West was supposed to be the team, or I'm sorry, the division to beat, and they haven't lived up to that expectation by any means. I mean, the Broncos are definitely, the big bum of that. I don't say the big bum, but the big bummer of that division. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, I felt horrible when he got injured. I think that has hurt the team this year. He's coming back though. I mean, he's already back, but I think 2 weeks ago his passer rating just got back to 100. So and Keenan Allen's back on the field as well. So yeah, I mean but I mean even the Raiders, like, they're not as explosive as everyone thought they were going to be this season as well. So yeah, but I think the Broncos, like, everyone's like, what's going on with Russell Wilson? Like, he just doesn't fit in their system, because they are definitely just not winning games.
Yeah, I think I know why the Broncos are so bad right now. It's because of the head coach, Daniel Hackett. He's not a play caller. Mm-hmm. He's not really head coaching material, and I feel like he's holding the team back. And partly because of Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is getting up there in age, mainly, and they're paying him a substantial amount of money to throw the football, but he's not producing. That's right.
Well, it seems. I mean, I did see a fight that, not personally, but on TV with Russell Wilson and one of his players on the sidelines. And I was like, "Ooh, what's going on there? Like, is he losing the locker room? Did he ever have the locker room to begin with?" I don't keep up with Broncos that much, so I'm not quite sure, but just the little things that I see here and there makes me wonder. I'm like, what's going on with the Broncos? So I think that's definitely the least, definitely the most disappointing team.
Yeah. So for me, I would have to say the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you there. They should be way more explosive than they are. I mean, Carr is a better quarterback than what he's playing. Devontae Adams is killing it now, but it's not showing in their in their scores by any means, or by their wins by any means.
So the next question I have is, since the Eagles defeated the Titans, do you think the Eagles will win the NFC East, or the Cowboys will catch up?
I think the Eagles have it.
Of course.
Sorry, and that's not just the Eagles fan talking. Yeah, I don't think Dallas is going to catch up. I think they're a great football team, and I think Parsons is amazing. Their defense is great. Their offense is great too. I just don't think. I think the Eagles just pulled ahead, early in the season, and it's going to be really hard for Dallas to catch up. I mean, I think it will be close, but I think the Eagles can do it.
Yeah, I think the Eagles just basically got this division wrapped up. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be two other teams joining them in the playoffs in the NFC East, the Giants and the Cowboys. But I would not sleep on Washington as well.
I'm not sleeping on the Commanders.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on them because they're actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, McLaurin's great. I mean, the Heineke and McLaurin connection is fantastic. And I mean, Dotson is in there. You got Robinson in there, and that I was actually at that Eagles Commanders game. And what I saw on the field, I almost couldn't believe my eyes. They definitely held the Eagles, and I think they kind of taught, the key is to not let Jalen Hurts have the ball. And that's what they did, and also too, big play Slay, amazing player. He couldn't hold McLaurin. So, it is.
Speaking of the Eagles, so you got the MVP candidates out there. You got the Patrick Mahomes, you got Justin Jefferson. Do you think Jalen Hurts is a viable MVP candidate?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he definitely deserves to be in the conversation. I haven't scrolled through the NFL communications press releases, but I know, he's been breaking records everywhere. And I think he definitely has what it takes, to be the Eagles franchise quarterback from here on out. I think he's proven himself, as well as definitely in talks for MVP this season.
So I got him for winning MVP, and then I got Justin Jefferson finishing second. Mm-hmm. And then I got Patrick Mahomes finishing third. But
Patrick's breaking records too. So
yeah, but I think Jefferson's gonna finish ahead of him, and they're probably just gonna change everything in the MVP voting because it's been basically the same people winning it every year or actually in it. So it definitely beats my NFL MVP prediction from before the season, where I had Jonathan Taylor winning it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jonathan Taylor is not doing really well right now. So he's been hurt. The Colts offensive line has been terrible. Mm-hmm. All that stuff. But so the next question I have is, what are your thoughts on Jeff Saturday coaching the Colts?
You know what? And I was just about to say that. That's funny that you bring that up as the next question. Super unusual.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to make of it. He goes from an analyst to coaching high school, and then never even coached college, and now he's coaching NFL. But they did, they won their first game with him coaching. So
yeah, against the Raiders. Who knew?
Right. So I mean, he's obviously doing something right. I don't know if he just got lucky that game, but yeah, I mean, it's super unusual, but stranger things have happened. So that's kind of my thoughts there.
I think for me, I think the reason why they hired Jeff Saturday is because they're clearly in rebuilding mode, and they need like a coach to bridge this season, and then next season they're probably gonna hire somebody else. So they probably didn't have the money to hire somebody else right now. So they went with the next best thing in hiring Jeff Saturday, which is kind of unorthodox, but apparently he's just there just because he's the head coach in name only. I mean, he's I think the offensive coordinator is doing all the work.
Doing most of the work, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And he's just basically riding the coattails, but I have a feeling that they're gonna hire him back though.
Okay. Do you think Matt Ryan will be back?
No, next season? I think he retires after this season.
Yeah, I have that feeling too.
He doesn't really have it anymore. I mean, if you saw the game last night, oh, that was terrible.
Yeah,
Can't
I
believe
honestly I turned it off because funny thing, I needed Dallas to lose for my pool. But so when they were like when at first the Colts were up and then Dallas obviously, beat them. But once in the fourth quarter I just turned it off because I was tired. I had a long weekend. So I was just like,
yeah,
I
so
can't watch this slaughter anymore.
yeah, so I went to the bathroom like it was like 19-21, and I'm thinking, oh boy, the Cowboys are gonna lose another game. And then all of a sudden, I changed the channel for 5 minutes, and it's 54-19. That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
pretty much what happened. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm not missing much here. The Dallas is just going to slaughter them at this point. It was literally just touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And I was like, okay, I
Yeah, it
lost.
was bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So,
So
so what are your thoughts on the New York Jets season so far?
I'm impressed with what I'm sorry, the Jets or the Giants?
The Jets.
The Jets. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
impressed with the Jets, and that was another thing. Coming from the draft, the day of the draft, and in the media room, that was another thing. Like you guys got sauce, and everybody was excited. And everyone in the media was talking, and we were saying that the Jets had a great draft, and we saw definitely saw them winning more games than they have in the past, and that's exactly what's happened. So yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson is what it is. They've obviously moved on, and yeah, I look forward to seeing them win more. You guys deserve a winning season because you guys have
yes.
had it
It's
rough,
been
man.
it's been since 2010 the last time we've been in the postseason, the AFC Championship
Yeah,
game against the Colts and Steelers. So one of those years. Oh man,
yeah,
I've been a Jets
yeah.
fan since the early 1990s, and
Mhm.
as we have dealt with very, very dark days. And I'm really, really hoping they make the playoffs this year because we have a really good defense. We have a really good offense now. Running game is pretty good. I just wish we work on special teams because our special teams has been terrible the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I'm really hoping they make the playoffs. If they do, they could make like a Bengal type run like last season where the Bengals made the playoffs and they just rough shot it throughout the entire playoffs, made it to
Hmm.
the Super Bowl.
Kind of,
And
kind
I'm
of
really
like the Phillies did with the World Series.
oh yeah, yeah.
They barely
So
scratched by, and then they got in, and just like Hart took them all the way, and they
yeah,
almost had it. So maybe
I can't to be honest with you, I cannot believe they actually made it to the World Series because of their I'm sorry, I know you're a Phillies fan, but
it's fine.
you're a Phillies fan, but they had a pretty bad defense and terrible bullpen. It was just mind-boggling to me that they made it to the postseason, let alone the World Series. Also,
Yeah, that's kind of the Philly passion though, talking. I think that's kind of what
yeah,
happened. They got in, they saw their opportunity, and they outpassioned the rest of the league is what happened. So,
can't believe
I
that.
mean, they
But
obviously didn't win the World Series, but definitely came close.
well, the Astros won it, and I guess everybody hated them winning. But
Well, they cheat. And they
well, that
cheated
was
in
that
the
was
game too.
that was a long time ago though.
No,
But I
it
don't think they cheated this
wasn't.
year. It was like 2017.
No, it was no. It was it? Was it? It was. It didn't. It well. I first of all, I live in LA, so everyone. It seems like yesterday because the Dodgers and everyone's still really
Oh
upset.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. The
everybody was
Dodgers.
rooting for the Phillies, so because of the
Yeah,
Astros
I'm
cheated.
pretty sure the Dodgers fans are still upset about what happened
They're
in
always
their
for
playoffs this
years,
season.
for years to come. They're going to be upset about that one. But yeah, no. I mean, the Astros still cheated. I feel like they used different bats, and anyway, we won't
The
discuss
trash
that.
cans. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't even know what happened.
So what would be your updated Super Bowl prediction?
Oh my god, I don't even know. I mean,
It's
like I
okay to
said,
put the
I
Eagles on
had
there too.
San Fran in there for a bit. Honestly, I'm going Bills Eagles. Final
Hmm.
answer.
So
So,
I want to go a little bit of a dark horse here. So I will
good.
have to say the Eagles, and I dare I say it, but the Eagles and the New York Jets.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be a good.
Gonna be a
Super
lot
Bowl
of
matchup.
green.
I know it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be the green Super Bowl,
It's
hopefully.
gonna be
But
weird. What do they do in that situation? I mean, what do they do in that situation? I didn't even think about that. Like all that is a lot of green. Like one's gonna have to wear white and then the other.
so either one has to wear white, or the Eagles have to wear their black alternative uniforms, maybe,
Mhm.
or the
That
Jets
would be
wear their black
interesting.
alternative uniform.
And then you have an all East Coast Super Bowl, which the fans will
Yeah.
be insane because everyone knows
Mm-hmm.
East Coaster. I'm an East Coaster, so I can say we're crazy. So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, that would be an interesting Super Bowl. And honestly, it's going to be interesting if it's Eagles Bills too. I mean, Bills Mafia is they're crazy too. So it's going to be a bunch of just crazy fans in green or in blue and red.
Well, we shall see. And I don't know
Yes.
about the Bills because it's all gonna fall under Josh Allen's elbow.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
So
it's that time
you
of the season. Everyone's kind of getting hurt, and it's unfortunate to see.
yeah.
But that's the name of the
What
game.
you gotta evolve somehow.
Hmm.
Well, it's gonna be a Bills and Eagles Super Bowl, hopefully, or a Jets Eagles Super Bowl. All right, that is the end of this. That's all the questions I have today. I want to thank Ms. Deb Whitcas for the time. You can find this episode on KenTheSportsGuy.com, Ken with two N's, and my YouTube channel, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. In addition, head on over to my social media pages on Twitter at Kenny_sports, Twitter, Instagram at Kenny Sports Guy 1, and TikTok at Kenny Sports Podcast. Until the next episode, see ya, and I hope you stay safe and healthy.
Bye, guys.